looking at? Help me. Can't you see I need help? Help me. How does it feel when I ask you for help like this? Does it feel happy? This is how too much stress can feel, as if yourself and everything around you are screaming, and you just want to close your ears, to be away from the noise, to feel safe, to have a little peace. I remember a time when I was a medical intern in a lung ward in a hospital. I and my supervisor went to visit a patient who had final stage lung cancer. It was an old man. And together with the patient, we had decided to start a palliative treatment. All medication would be stopped. And after we had seen the patient, my supervisor had asked me to stay a bit with the patient to see how he was doing. And there I was with this man who had already lost a lot of weight, who said nothing, just stared a bit, closed his eyes, and then opened them again. It was awfully silent. Should I try to cheer him up? I thought. Or should I just do as my supervisor asked me to, stay quiet and observe the patient? But there was one question on my mind. So I asked him, "Are you afraid?" And the moment I decided I might just not have asked the right question, he said, "No, I'm not afraid of death." I realized I had not literally asked him if he was afraid of death. He continued, "But I am afraid of how my children will remember me." And I had not really expected this answer. And he continued, "My wife has died 2 years ago. I have always been working and away. I haven't given her any attention. My stress had overpowered me. When I was working, I was working. And when I was not working, I was stressed. I was caught up in the cycle. But now it is too late, and I can't do anything for her now." I've been thinking about this a lot, and it just doesn't let me go. I have 2 sons and a daughter, and I was also not there enough for them. My wife took care of them, and he was silent. These moments are all I have left now, and I want to spend these with my children. They will come soon with my grandchildren. So his sons and daughter came with the grandchildren, and he was with them. And later that day, he passed away. How do you want your life to look like? What is important in life? Do we want a life where stress overpowers us? Or do we want a life where we can make stress our strength instead of a weakness? There is an immense power in stress, and this can be for the good or for the bad. And I'm young. I'm on a learning journey. And every day I learn about myself and the world around me. And I also learn that I have to change, and I have to keep changing myself if I want to live a better life. And there was also a period in my life that I was going through much stress, and it had a big impact on my functioning and my medical studies. It frustrates when your stress has reached such a high point that your mind and body do not do what you want them to do. It feels everything is out of control, and that is an awful feeling. It can give sadness, and that sadness and frustration in return can give more stress. You can get into a vicious cycle where it is hard to come out from. And I do not want this to happen to anybody else. And therefore, it's important that we are aware of the signs of stress and what effect it can have on us. Because often people think that they don't have any stress, but once they start getting the symptoms, it is sometimes too late. And I'm not saying it is an easy task to manage your stress, but with practice and dedication, it is possible. We have to be like a chameleon that can change its color smoothly from one situation to the other, so we can best adapt to changes that can cause stress. The better we are able to adapt to new situations, the better we learn how to manage our stress well. For example, in education, we are widely exposed to change with a lot of new information. Education can give us a lot of freedom. It can enrich our lives, give us new perspectives. But also in education, you are not free of everything. You're not free of everything. And there are different things that play a role. You can have your stress level that has an effect on education. But education can also give stress. And another aspect that is important in education that has a relationship with stress is the interaction between a student and a teacher. A student can have an effect on a teacher, and a teacher can have an effect on a student. And they can also transfer stress from one to the other. So it's very important that we keep all in balance. Moving on, let us now experience what stress is. And I want you to do the following. I want you all to make two tight fists. So hands up in the air. Now I want you to pull your shoulders upwards. Pull your shoulders upwards. Clench your teeth like this. Close your eyes very tight. If possible, lift your knees a little bit. And now hold this pose. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it a little more. Feel the stress. And now let it all go. Let it all go. How much longer could you hold this? Did you feel tensed? I can tell you, some of us are in this state the whole day. When we are stressed, our muscles tense without us noticing it. And in this small exercise, we have consciously felt the difference between stress and relaxation, and start noticing this consciously from now on. 3 things are important when we look at effects of stress. First is your memory, second is your energy, and third is your sleep. MES, or mess. We want to keep the mess in control. When we have stress, it can make the mind tired, and it also has an impact on our memory. All can feel a bit too much then. Our mind can feel cloudy, and when we try to remember things, it seems we forget. We're not able to concentrate. When we are also physically tired, we tend to get more irritated, and as if everything is out of control. Nobody wants to feel exhausted and sick. We all need support in our lives, but there's initiative needed, and you are one of the main persons to take that initiative. And sleep deprivation also increases our stress levels. We can feel grumpy and less alert. It does not only have an effect on your mood, but also on your motivation. And research shows, ideally, adults should sleep 8 hours a day. And who of us really gets enough sleep? So, will we keep the mess in control? Say, I will, if you can. On the count of 3, together with me, say, I will. 1, 2, 3, I will. How confident were you when saying, I will? How much enthusiasm did you feel? How convinced were you of your own abilities? Did you say it as loud as you wanted to say it? And this is what we do with many things in life. When we stand at an important point in our life where we have to take a decision, we tend to start hesitating. And there's something that pulls us back. While we actually want an invisible force that pushes us forward and that makes us say with full enthusiasm, "I will!" And that is actually what you want, right? But unless you have that willpower, will you really do it? In my opinion, people are the most important resource of a company. Without accepting that, a company cannot function properly. And the same also goes for stress. Accepting yourself, accepting others, accepting what you feel, but not accepting giving up, and not accepting leaving a certain situation the way it is, not accepting that we are not getting the best we deserve. Accept, but also fight for your happiness. Do not accept a narrow mindset, and do accept new experiences. An important thing I learned is that life doesn't always go the way we want it to. And strongly connected to that is to forgive, forgiving yourselves and others. We are human and we are not perfect. We can aim to reach high, but there is more in life than reaching high. And it's not easy. It definitely is not. But we can make it easier for ourselves by helping ourselves and others, by realizing that the first change starts within. I want you to do the following things. Start measuring what you experience and what your stress is. First, find a person who you can really talk to, who you really trust, who you can be yourself with. And then every morning, I want you to write down one thing you want to happen that day. And be specific. Do not just write, "I want to be happy." Write down, "I want to smile one time today." And then at the end of the day, write down one thing that did go well and one thing that did not go well, and your thoughts on it. Do this small journaling exercise. Even if you do a part of it, it's a start. So what perspective will your life have? Imagine yourself now at the end of your life and look back at your life. And really look back. You feel at peace. And not because your life has been perfect, but because you have lived a life that is true to you, where you may have fallen, but you also showed that you could stand up. A life where you have done the best to take care of yourself, your mind, and your body. And that is what I want for us. So now, in the end, I will give you one last chance. Together with me, on the count of 3, and now I want full enthusiasm, I want you to say, "I will." 1, 2, 3. I will! Well, that is what I wanted to hear. Make it happen.